Good morning, Brent. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good
You
to see
doing
you.
okay?
Yep, hanging in there. How about you?
Fine. How's Stephen?
He's doing well. He's right here. He'll be logging on here in a little bit. Doing much better. How's Nancy?
Doing fine. She'll be along in a second.
Sometimes I can hear you well, and sometimes I can't.
Well, let me lean up. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. Probably not as comfortable, but it makes it more audible.
I just move it closer.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to shut the recording off for a minute because I want to ask you something.
Was not walking into one of these meetings, but they do exist, so.
They exist. Yeah.
There are some, yeah. We're all human,
Yeah, that's
except for
basically.
John,
Wow.
the beloved disciple,
Wow, okay.
Saint John.
Saint John. Oh,
Yeah.
too bad I don't believe in saints.
Oh, well, neither do Quakers, but John's a good guy. We'll call him the beloved good guy.
Are you crying, John, or is that the emotion just overwhelming you?
Oh no, my eyes are just itching.
Okay. That's what we all say, eh?
And you say his eyes sweat. I'm not crying. My eyes are just sweating.
I was just
Oh, no,
feeling some onions. Yeah.
I've never heard the ice sweating idea before. That's
I
a good
like
one.
that.
Yeah, me too. So how
Hello,
are things in
Stu.
Iowa?
Hello,
Caroline?
Dan.
Good
Um,
everyone.
It is beautifully frosty in Iowa this morning.
Ah,
I
Wonderful.
posted some pictures, and the trees and bushes are just beautiful because there's just frost all over them.
oh, okay.
Just it's amazing.
Indiana's its usual gloomy self. It's just tiresome.
I
We
told
have
a friend of
frosting
mine
since September.
elsewhere that we were supposed to get 2 to 5 inches, theoretically. So that meant the way the accuracy of our forecasters are that we will either get nothing or we'll get a foot.
Yep.
And we got the nothing.
They were really close out here. We were supposed to get 6 to 8 inches, and we got 8 inches. And then we were supposed to get a trace to 2 inches, and we just got a trace. So it's pretty snowy out here.
Berger, what's on your shirt?
This is Rosie the elephant. It's the mascot of Rose-Hulman University.
Oh,
Rosie the elephant.
Okay.
Whoop. The
oh,
elephant,
lost you.
the elephant that's crushed.
There I am. Well, my son went to Rose-Hulman and worked at the bookstore. And so we would get gifted with factory seconds.
Oh.
This one, there's a color that's in the wrong place or something. So we would
But we
get
wouldn't
the,
know unless you told us, so.
right, we get the leftovers and, for what tuition costs down there, we should get us once a week anyway.
Exactly.
Dan, we need to get together before the 7th about the CD.
Yes. I'm open all next week, I
Good.
believe.
Okay.
So pick or call and see if we can do that on the phone from the bank, with the bank.
Yeah.
Is it nice and sunny in Quebec?
No, it's been frosty on the trees, like the miss, I just don't know her name, said it's been like that since September almost. I've seen that a long time ago. I still have a long.
Yeah, that'd be a long time.
That's a long time with the same landscape, I'm telling you. I wouldn't mind a bit of something else.
Morning, Dale. Morning, Christy.
What is your name, Mrs.? It says Roger's iPad, but I'm not going to call you Roger.
It's
Unless-
Caroline.
Caroline, unless Roger is fine with you. Okay.
Caroline.
I went to the Friends Church, West Newton Friends Church growing up until I came to Iowa to go to school.
The
So,
French?
the Friends Church in
Oh, okay.
the West Newton Friends Church.
Okay. Sorry, I heard friends.
Yeah, she went to the French church there in town, not the Friends church. It was the French-speaking Quakers in West Newton, Indiana.
Yeah.
I don't think there are any French-speaking Quakers. And does anybody here speak French besides Chantel?
I feel very weird to hear like French Quaker lingo because I'm used to hearing the English ones, although I'm French speaking. That would sound odd to hear about Quakers in French. I don't know.
My 3.5 years of French in high school was a long time ago.
Oh, oui, merci.
Say bonjour, mademoiselle.
Oh mon Dieu, merci, monsieur. Oh, I'm
Como
impressed.
tell-vous? We used to practice in language lab butchering phrases. We had to wear the headphones
Oh.
and then repeat so our prof could listen and hear our pronunciation. But we could always tell when he was looking, because he'd look at us. And so my friend Greg and I would always just do it as if we were reading it,
Oh.
and had no idea. So it'd be like como tell-vous, bonjour, mademoiselle.
Comment allez-vous? You don't say vous, like vous.
But we did. We said vous.
Booze.
Parlez vous.
Sounds like booze, yeah.
Booze. Totally calling booze.
No, they
Hey, Nancy, did you get to see that movie?
Yeah, no, yes.
Sleep. I started watching it and then I fell asleep.
Oh, well, it's been on again. It'll be on again.
What movie
Sorry,
was
I
it?
just couldn't stay awake.
It was a Hallmark movie, so I went to bed and read the New Yorker.
It's always good to fall asleep. That's what I do, Hallmark Channel. Yeah.
It's so sweet it'd kill a diabetic, so I go to bed.
Well, the one that I was talking about is just plain funny.
What is it, Sue? What movie is it?
It's a Hallmark movie. Let me think about the name.
Christmas something?
Oh, Cross Country Christmas.
Cross Country Christmas.
They
I watched-
started out.
There's something on Hallmark I like. It's called Cedar Cove.
Mhm.
I don't know if you know of it, Sue. It's been going on for a bit. Cedar Cove. I like it.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one, but I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's understanding. They all end the same way. Everybody's fine, happy, love.
Yeah, that's
Happily
true.
ever after.
Very predictable all the time. Yeah.
This one was totally different. Just plain funny.
I thought when you said it was totally different, I thought, oh, it wasn't Happily Ever After.
Well, they were in a boxcar to begin with.
It reminded me when you said that, Sue, of, when Carrie Newcomer has a play, Betty's Diner, based on her album, and she the world premiere was up at Purdue, and Nancy and I and another friend went up to see it, and it was, you know, Carrie's a lovely, sweet person, and so at intermission, was talking with her husband Robert, and Carrie walked up and she goes, well, what do you think of it? And I go, you know, it's good, and it's you know, it was interesting and compelling. And Robert goes, just wait till the second half. That's when the killings begin. It was like, and she kicked him, which wasn't good for a Quaker, but it was just so funny when he said that. And it is a very good play, but it had a surprise ending. So it was just right too, actually. So if you ever have a chance to see it, it's been at Purdue and it's been at IU as well. Betty's Diner.
What's the name? Betty's Diner.
Betty's Diner
Okay.
by Carrie Newcomer. The play. I don't know if it's on YouTube or anything.
Hello, Chip. Haven't
Hello.
seen you. Sorry, haven't seen you.
Happy birthday, Chip.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank
Today
you.
your birthday?
It is, yes.
Wow.
You read your news.
So 63?
Yeah.
Is that real?
No.
Yeah.
I'm 73.
Is that real?
We all like that math.
Debbie's going, whoa. Wait a minute. Well, Dan's like 744 months now, so.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank goodness
That's
it's
good
not
enough to-
years, but then again, it would be cool because you're so well preserved. There
It is the Methuselah of months
you
instead of
go.
years.
If it's good enough for toddlers to be given their age in months, it's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Steve, it's good to see you looking well this morning.
I'm not sure who,
Yes,
Steve,
Mr.
oh, Steve.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
I just wanted to say Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
Here.
Happy New Year and happy 9th day of Christmas.
Once when I was in Kenya, I went in April and people were greeting me with Happy New Year. And I said, but it's already April. And they said, but we always say that the first time we see you in a year.
Oh, wow.
That's nice.
Don't mind.
Better late than ever.
I could remember who I'd seen.
I was supposed to have gone there in January, but when it was turned out to be, it was the year of the violence in 2008. And we postponed our trip. And so people were greeting me with Happy New Year.
How long have you been in Kenya?
How long had I been in Kenya? I've been there several times, maybe 10 times, but
Wow,
on business with Friends United meeting.
that's impressive.
Dan's been there.
Friends,
like
it's
20 times.
what did you?
it's about time to begin. Are there joys or concerns that you'd like to share before we settle into silence?
Does anyone
Well,
have an update on Ruth Albert?
Loring, is there an update on Ruth?
She's hanging in there. She's not happy where she's at in the convalescent place. But Beth did get to see her the other day, fully gowned. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to sugarcoat it or make it worse than it is. She's just not too well.
Many of you know my sister Vicky's kids, Jessica and Levi, their dad passed away New Year's Eve. Prolonged illness.
That's
The Oskaloosa Friends meeting has called Kevin Rohr as our pastor. So he'll be starting probably between May and July. So he's originally from Ohio.
Well, I had some sad news, or not good news anyway. My daughter Emily tested positive for COVID. She took a test Wednesday after she'd spent the night here with me on Tuesday. So I'm self-quarantining. So far she feels not bad. She's got some funky symptoms, and I myself just keep going every time I have an ache or pain or whatever. Going, is it? But so far I've been blessed to not have it. So we'll wait and see.
Let's hold all of these things in God's light and love, and people affected by them. I'm the worship leader this morning, so if you would put yourself on mute to help us avoid feedback, we'll do that, and then I'll speak out of the silences as I feel led. Well, today is one of those Sundays that liturgical people celebrate that we don't. It's Epiphany. It celebrates the wise men arriving to worship the Christ child and having the epiphany of who he is and what his mission is. And I'm not going to talk about them today, but I thought it was interesting that today's Epiphany Sunday, because thanks to a brief conversation via email, and I mean brief, that Dave Mills and I had an epiphany. after I sent out the Zoom links and everything for today, Dave responded with a very gracious note, and I responded to him that while I hated the pandemic, one of the good things about it is we've learned how to Zoom. And not that we ever thought that would be a way to hold meeting for worship, but because we can Zoom, it doesn't matter where we are, we can join worship. And so folks like Dave can join in, and Jan out in the far hinterlands of Western Indiana, and Chantel, and, you know, Chris, and, you know, we're all over the place, which is a blessing. And Dave responded back that, you know, if we look hard enough, we can find something good in almost everything. And as I pondered that, I was remembering some verses, a verse in particular by Paul that I've always wrestled with. And that's Romans 8:28, where he says, and we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him. And to be frank, I've wrestled with that at times in my life. From the time my dad had a severe head injury when I was 13 and wasn't really quite the same for the next 5 years between his health and his mental condition from the head injury, to the time on a bright, sunny summer July morning that I went up to our guest bedroom and found that my best friend had killed himself there, to the pandemic, to all kinds of things, as we all have had. Where is God working for good in all of those? And especially when Greg died, when people would quote this verse to me, I didn't find it very helpful. And I felt bad about that, trying to be a good Christian, that I really didn't find it very helpful. But when Dave said what he did in the email, and I began to think about it more. What does good mean? All things, God works for the good of those who love him. And this morning, as I was reading that verse again, there was a footnote of an alternate translation that it could be written in. This in the New International Version had this alternate, and I read it and I thought, now that speaks to my condition. It says that in all things, God works together with those who love him to bring about what is good. To bring about what is good. And I thought, I resonate with that. I can rest in that. And I can look back over the pandemic and see where some good has come as a result, not because of it, but not that God caused it, but in that, good has come. We have learned to do community in a new way, for one. You know, a lot of people have been saying, well, you know, this 2020 is over. Now it's 2021. Everything's going to be okay. And everything, of course, is not going to be okay. Not for a good while. And we don't know what challenges this next year will hold for us. And so to be thinking about how God works together for those who love him and bring about what is good, I thought of one of the spiritual exercises, which again, Quakers don't talk much about spiritual exercises, especially those developed by the saints of yore. But St. Ignatius came up with a whole series of spiritual exercise, the Jesuit, the founder of the Jesuits, and one is his prayer of examen. And I thought about, instead of just being relieved that 2020 is over and all the various griefs it brought us, not just the grief of a worldwide disease that is horrid, but we've each had our own struggles. We've had people we love die. We've had people we love get very ill. We've know people who've lost jobs, people who struggle with all kinds of issues. To do a review, that the prayer of examen, which is my favorite thing to do of the spiritual exercises. It's meant to be a daily thing, but I'm going to offer it to you as a way to look back on 2020. And there are basically 5 steps in it. And the first is, as you pray and think about 2020, is just try and become aware of God's presence in 2020. Where might God have been present with you in the year as you look back over everything that's happened? The second one's a little harder. He invites us to review, he says the day, but I'll say the year, in gratitude. Because Ignatius holds that gratitude is the foundation of our relationship with God. Being thankful in all things. So as we look through the year, where was the presence of God in its joys and delights, in the gifts that came to us, the work that we did, the people we interacted with? What gifts did we receive from all these things? And he even invites us to look at the small things, the food we ate, the sights we saw, and the other seemingly small pleasures. Because God is not just in the big, but in the details. As I thought about that, I thought about, Nancy had her stroke March 1st, and our lives changed greatly because of that. But one of the things that we do, which is awful kind of silly, and I made fun of it yesterday, but we go out for truck rides in the country and try and find roads we haven't been on before. And that's something we would not have done before. Yesterday, we were on Pumpkin Vine Hill Road. If you don't know where that is, I'll be happy to tell you sometime. But those small pleasures, and God was present, I think, in that, because we just go out and we slow down. We drive about 25 miles an hour. If a car gets behind us, we pull over and let him by instead of my usual, get off my bumper, you need to slow down, or you need to speed up. We just meander and are blessed. Review the year with gratitude, the small things. The third step, he says, is, so what were your emotions? Pay attention to your emotions during the year. Boredom, elation, resentment, compassion, anger. What is God saying to us through our feelings? What are growth areas for us? I'd prefer not to think about that sometimes. What growth areas? What are the emotions I need to work on and trust and lay aside? Um, not to belabor this point, but as I look back on the day that Greg died and what happened and the emotions that I had, what good came out of that is it certainly made me a more sensitive youth group leader and more aware of in compassion of teenagers who were struggling with depression, overwhelming depression. And even over the years, with a few of those people, to be able to develop some pacts that they would not do anything without calling me. And also knowing that I would intervene. It made me more compassionate. And so as we look over 2020, what were our emotions and where was God teaching us in them? The fourth thing Ignatius invites us to do is to choose one thing from the year and pray from it. He says, ask the Holy Spirit to direct you to something during the year that God thinks is particularly important for you. It may be a significant encounter with another person, a vivid moment of pleasure or peace. It may be something that's rather insignificant. Look at it, pray about it. Allow the prayer to arise spontaneously from your heart, whether it's intercession, praise, repentance, or gratitude. And the fifth step, he says, is look towards tomorrow. Look towards tomorrow. Ask God to give you light for tomorrow's challenges and pay attention to the feelings that surface as you look to what's coming up. Are you doubtful, cheerful, apprehensive, full of delighted anticipation? And allow these things to turn into prayer. Seek guidance. Ask God for help and understanding, and pray for hope. I found that those steps in prayer to be helpful to me, especially in dark times. And so I offer them to you as something that you may find helpful just as you review this year. And remember that in all things, God works together with those who love him to bring about that which is good. So friends, we've come to the end of our time. Are there thoughts that friends would like to share before we close? Well, it's good to be with you all, and Happy New Year. And may we be faithful in this new year to what God has in store for us. Be well.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, me too.
Happy New Year.
Bonne année.
Thank you, Chantel.
Oh, you're welcome.